Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ontario Community Changemakers Info Session. My name is Gia Benny. I'm a project manager at 880 Cities. With me is Landrick Bennett Jr., the managing director at 880 Cities. And together we will go over what the program is, what Ontario Community Changemakers is, and answer any questions you may have. Please use the Q&A function to ask questions, and we will answer them at the end of our presentations. Before we begin, I will start with a land acknowledgement. I am calling in from Toronto, which is the traditional lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. This territory was the subject of Dish with One Spoon Wampum Bell Covenant, but it is now the site of many broken treaties and covenants. We are grateful to have the opportunity to live and work on this territory. We remind ourselves to respect and nurture our relationship to this land, as well as to its Indigenous peoples, past, present, and future. I am a settler, I am learning, and I stand in solidarity with the Indigenous peoples in Canada. So what is Ontario Community Changemakers? Ontario Community Changemakers, or as we call it OCC, is a fellowship and micro-grant program for young civic innovators with bold ideas to activate public space, enhance civic engagement, and or foster social inclusion. We want to emphasize that this program is for individuals, and we want to invest in you as a change maker. This program is powered by 880 Cities and funded by Balsam Foundation. We are looking for ideas that fall under these three themes, that is activate public space, enhance civic engagement, and foster social inclusion. And by activating public space, we mean, so public spaces are areas or places that are open and accessible to all. Sidewalks, streets, libraries, parks, plazas, trails, community centers are all examples of public space. And they play a key role in impacting the social determinants of health and supporting community well-being. So we are looking for project ideas that create renewed energy, life, and vibrancy to local communities in these areas. The other theme that we are focusing on is enhancing civic engagement. Bringing people and communities together to address common challenges or increase awareness of important issues is a fundamental aspect of civic engagement. And we are looking for project ideas that spur people to take collective action and increase community participation in civic processes. The last and final theme is fostering social inclusion. As you all know, our society has many barriers, both visible and invisible, which prevent marginalized communities from accessing public spaces and participating in public life. So projects that address these barriers and seek to foster social inclusion for people, regardless of gender, gender identity, race, ethnicity, age, sexual orientation, or socioeconomic status are some of the areas that we are looking at. This is the fun part. So what do you get when you become an Ontario Community Changemaker? You get $5,000 in seed funding to implement one community project in 1 year. You get ongoing guidance from 880 Cities in topics such as planning, community engagement, communications, budgeting, and those kind of things. You also get a supportive and inspiring network of peers from across Ontario who are also working on similar projects. The next part is who can apply, and I will pass it over to Landrick to talk about this.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Gia. So yeah, who can apply? You must be 19 to 35 years of age at the time of application. You must be able to attend all 3 days of the studio, and we'll go through those dates on a forward slide. The applicants must reside in the province of Ontario or in a First Nations territory within the provincial boundary of Ontario during the time of the project's implementation. The projects need to take place in the province of Ontario or in a First Nations territory within the provincial boundary of Ontario. and applicants must propose a community project that activates public space, enhances civic engagement, and also or fosters social inclusion. Next slide. So the studios themselves, we have August 6, 2020, which is a half-day virtual session. We also have a full day in-person session here in Toronto on August 14th, and August 20th is another half-day virtual session. So before applying, make sure that your date is set to be able to accommodate these three: August 6th, which is virtual, August 14th, which is a full in-person session, and then August 20th. Next slide. Speaking of the studio itself, attending the studio is mandatory, and since the program has an in-person component, all participants of OCC need to be vaccinated. And back to you, Gia.
Thank you, Landrick. So we just wanted to give you an idea of, what happened last year or in 2021. So last year we selected these, bright 20 individuals from Markham, Sudbury, St. Thomas, Windsor, Toronto, Brampton, Lincoln, Hamilton, Ottawa, and Ashburn to be our change makers. They are all in different stages of implementing their projects right now. You can learn more about them on the Ontario Community Changemakers website. We are also publishing blog posts with updates on their projects. You can read the first one on the 880 Cities website, but keep an eye out for more of those blog posts. We'll be publishing them throughout this month. And to give you, if you can't wait to read, I can give you a small idea about, one of the project ideas that we funded last year. But we also want to tell you that it is not just about the project. We are also investing in you as a change maker because we want to support you as a young leader in Ontario, a young community leader in Ontario. So this is Cheryl Louis. She is, her project was called the Markham Pollinator Pathway. It is a pollinator garden in a public space in Markham using native plants. So for her, the project planning and implementation included obtaining permits from the city to have the pollinator garden in a public space, to do the branding for the pollinator garden, recruiting volunteers, designing the area, and then scheduling like a planting day with volunteers, and also creating social media pages and printing handouts to give the volunteers, because it's also about her project also had an educational component to it. So to give, to make people aware of pollinator gardens and native plants, etc. So that was the Markham Pollinator Pathway. I will pass it back to Landrick to talk about another project.
So this is Jessica in Windsor, creating the Active Transit Windsor, Essex. Jessica's a transit advocate organizer, and her project planning and implementation included establishing relationships and partnerships in her community, surveying over 600 people in the community to advocate the Windsor Transit Master Plan. A lot of real enjoyment and necessity for public transit in the Windsor area, and really impressed with what Jessica has been able to accomplish thus far. Next slide. So we've given you a bit of information here. The application setup on the website is open. So we really want you to be able to apply now. The sooner, the better for yourself. The deadline to get your application in is June 19th at 11:59 p.m. The URL is on the screen at OntarioCommunityChangemakers.org/apply now. Next slide. Two ways, of course, to be able to apply. You can go right to the online application form. Next slide. or you can download it from download form, and that's also on the website, and it allows you to write in. So you can either apply right through the system, or you can download the form and email it or mail it to 880 Cities for your application to continue through.
And we also wanted to let you know that there is an FAQ page on the website with lots of questions answered. If you have questions, please check out that page. We may have already answered your questions there. But if not, these are our email addresses. You can contact me at my email address, Landrick at his. We also have an OCC support team, so you can also contact us there. And once again, just wanted to share our website with you all. So that was the program, the overview of the program. Now we have some time for Q&A. I want to again say that please send in your questions through the Q&A option in the window. Do we have a question already? Maybe I can stop sharing now. Then. So the question is, I joined a bit late, so not sure if I missed this, but do we need to meet all 3 criteria or just one of the 3? Yeah. Do you want to take that, Landrick?
No, it's okay. Go for it.
Okay. So you don't have to hit all 3 criteria or all 3 themes. It could be activating public spaces or enhancing civic engagement or fostering social inclusion. I hope that answered your question.
I've got a question here, Gia, asking if they've got a project and they don't have a permit yet, can they still apply for the program? Yes,
they can. So it is completely okay if projects don't have a permit at the start of the project or at the start of OCC or this year, because we can help with the permitting process, or they have time to do all that. And as I spoke about Cheryl with the Markham Pollinator pathway, she got the permit during that 1 year. So that's totally fine.
No, that's good. 2-part question on that. Also asking if their project is picked, when do they have to complete it by?
So I know I said the project has to be completed in a year, but it is so basically you have a year to implement your project, and it is fine if you would have started implementing it before the end of the year. So before August 2023, if you start implementing it, that's good. I hope that made sense.
So you know what, maybe just to further with that, so we want to make sure that the project is implemented within the 2022 to 2023 calendar timeframe, August being the very end. We penalize anyone, like if outside of August it finished, say, in September of 2023?
No, I don't think we would penalize anyone.
Okay.
But yeah, we should. I think they should start implementing.
Within
some
that.
parts of it. Yeah, some parts of it by August 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's another one. I will be moving abroad later this year. Can I continue to lead a project even while temporarily being abroad?
Yeah, so a big part of the program and and our goals is to encourage and support leaders in Ontario. So that's going to be our criteria, that you have to remain, or at least for the most part of the project, at least for 10 months out of the 12 months, you have to be in Ontario. So yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to keep on peppering you with questions here.
Sure, yes.
Being that this is virtual and in person, are participants allowed to miss the in-person and just do virtual?
Yeah, good question. So even though there are in-person and virtual components, they are all part of the same studio. So, and it is mandatory that all of them attend the studio, and the studio is just divided into 3 days. So it is mandatory for all of them to attend all 3 days of the studio, both virtual and in person.
So we
And
have
because,
those. Yeah, sorry, you continue, Gia.
yeah, and because we have an in-person component, it is mandatory for the participants to be vaccinated as well.
So those dates again, the studio day 1 is August 6th. That's a virtual half day. Day 2 is on August 14th. That's a Sunday, and it's a full day in person here in Toronto. And then day 3, another half day virtual, is on August 20th.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. And for anyone having any technical barriers, attending virtual sessions, we can do, we can provide you with support for that.
Here's another one. Are pairs allowed to submit a single OCC program? And if not, are pairs allowed to submit separate but kind of synergistic project proposals on the same subject? What's the piece on that?
Yeah, so like I said before, the program is designed for individuals. It's catered to individuals because we want to support and encourage individual community leaders. So that's going to be our focus. But if there are, if 2 of you want to apply, you could apply with different. Maybe if it's a big project, you can break down the project into 2 things, like two different aspects, and apply that way. It's also possible to apply with an organization. So if you're part of a nonprofit, or you are part, like you can partner with a nonprofit and apply, but we just want you to be the lead decision maker, and you have to handle the budget details and those kind of things. And we love that you all think so collaboratively and you all want to work as a team. It's just that we want to also support those leaders, right? So yeah, that's the only reason why we want to focus on the individual. But it's amazing that you have a team and that you can work collaboratively and with the team.
Another one here. I'm totally new to applying to projects like this. I don't know if I have the skills to run a project. How does can OCC help me kind of get the skill set to be able to run a project? It's a good question.
Yeah. So I mean, if you have that, very inspiring idea and that inspiring vision for your community, we are here to support you. I think that's what we are looking for. And in our studio and in our ongoing sessions, we would talk about so many different things like project planning, budgeting, communications, how to engage with community, how to manage a team, and those kind of things. So we will equip you with those kind of skills, and we are here to go through them with you. But yeah, I think that that inspirational idea, or that your vision for your community, that would come from you, and you know your community the best, not us, right? So yeah, you bring that to the table, I think. Do you have anything to add to that, Landrick?
No, that's great, and I mean, I can definitely say, watching and participating in many of the monthly meetups, and also in our first year virtual sessions, that a lot of those skill sets you probably already have. So a lot of what we are here doing within those teachable moments is really to harness a lot of your passion, a lot of your energy, and really showing you what skill sets you've already got. We're here definitely as that supportive piece, but I think many people underestimate their ability, especially when they have a great idea, to see that pursued. So definitely here to support, but you know, we believe in you, and definitely want you to put forth your name and ideas so that we can help bring them to light. Another question, and this one is quite funny. You're based in Toronto. Is it all going to be about Toronto people being picked?
Oh, no. Absolutely not. We want all of Ontario to participate in this. And like I shared before, we had in 2021, we had change makers from all sorts of places in Ontario. It wasn't just Toronto. And yeah, I just want to say it's we are open to all.
Can you recall kind of any specific areas in the province that you were kind of like, hey, that's really cool that we got someone from that part of the province?
Yeah, I mean, so there was Olivia from Lincoln. So her project was with the museum in the town of Lincoln. Sorry. And I hadn't heard of Lincoln, so for me it was also like it was nice to get to have applications from there, and also to choose her as one of the change makers. So her project was trying to make the museum more accessible for seniors, because there are a lot of things in a museum that doesn't make it accessible for seniors. So there was that fostering social inclusion part, but also in a rural community.
Very cool. I know we had Raven from Sudbury.
From Sudbury, yes.
You remember? Can you talk at all about her project?
Yeah, so she works with Live Love Louder. It's an organization in Sudbury, and one of her projects was to do community arts programs for the community, for one of the communities in Sudbury. And very recently, she also had, with the OCC funding, she was also able to paint. Paint is putting it very lightly, but like design and paint a van that a foster family uses to transport their family around town. So that was very cool, I thought. And it's a very cool design as well. I believe we've shared about it on our social media channels. So check out our Instagram and all that to see what Raven did as an OCC change maker.
And again, just to reiterate that we do have a FAQ page on the website, and if there's anything that is not coming up during this webinar, you can definitely check the FAQ page. You can also email us directly at occsupport@880cities.org, or to myself and Gia separately. Yeah, I don't have any other questions that have popped up. Some good ones that I think we've answered thus far. The application, the application is closing on June 19th, 2020 at 11:59 p.m. And you can either apply online, or you can download the application to either email back to us or snail mail. We always like mail.
Yeah. And both the addresses are on the website.
Yeah.
So you can just check that. Yeah. And also I just wanted to mention again about the FAQ page. The questions cover, questions about the program, about the application, about you, as an applicant as well. So we've covered bunch of questions there. So please do check that out.
I think we've answered this with the fact that these, that we're looking for ideas under active public space, enhanced civic engagement, and fostering social inclusion. So if someone has an idea outside of those three, we're not necessarily looking at bringing those projects on board right now.
Yeah, and for OCC, these are the three themes that we want to focus on. Yeah, so we would not be selecting the other. Yeah,
it's not to say that you shouldn't do
exactly
other projects, but
yeah.
we're looking for three specific pieces to go forth with.
And also want to say that just once again reiterate that it's open to all of Ontario. It doesn't matter if you're from a big city, a small city, small town, a village, doesn't matter. Southern Ontario, Northern Ontario, doesn't matter. We want to hear from you all. So hear and support your projects. So
yeah, I think that's about that.
Thank you so much, Landrick.
Thank you,
and
Gia.
thank you for the questions.
I was just going to say, I think this is going to be going into year 2, and just how exciting launching this was last year. I'm really looking forward to seeing what projects and what individuals come forward to put their applications in. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, super excited, and this year we get to do an in-person event, and that's
right.
exciting.
Yeah. All of last year was completely virtual, so knocking on wood that everything holds together. But yeah, it'll be exciting to have people in person during the sessions this year's. Yeah, it'll be good.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day, everyone.